Welcome back to my channel. My name is Dani, and for today's video, we're going to be recreating this makeup look. You guys literally went insane. You guys went insane in my last video, and harassment is an understatement. You guys left this platform and went to Instagram and said, hello, is anybody home? We need the tutorial yesterday. So let's dive into the video. So we're going to start off with brows first. I already did post a brow tutorial on this channel. I posted it like a couple days ago. I'm just going to do it in this video as well. I want this to be very detailed. You're going to need something that has like a spatula or a spoolie. Luckily, e.l.f. already has one. This is the Brow Lift Applicator. I spent $2 on this in the US, and in Canada, I have bought more. They were like $4. And you're going to need some type of brow gel. So I use Got2b Spiked Glued. I think that's what it's called. You're going to laminate your brows as your first step. When you're laminating your brows, you do need to brush them out so the hairs are all in the same direction you need them to be in before you add on your brow gel. I'm going to take a little bit of the Got2b on the spatula and I distribute it across my brows. Okay, then I take the spoolie part and go in an upwards direction. And I just want the front part of the brows to go straight up. Now I'm going to take the spoolie on an angle like this and brush out the hairs in this direction. Then I'm going to take my finger and just press down so I can get the hairs all in place. You can use a spatula to do this part, but I prefer to use my fingers because it allows me to push the hairs in place better. We're going to go up. And then we're going to go on an angle again. And we're going to press down. So to make sure there's no residue from the Got2b, I like to clean up around my brows. Now I'm going to go in with a brow pen. This is from SHEGLAM. It's in the shade Chocolate. I love this pen because I have really fine hairs all over my body and it's perfect. It looks like actual hairs. So I start off at the front of the brow. Then I go to the back. I have a scar in my brow, so I make sure I cover the scar. And I'm just filling in the empty spaces. I want to keep my brows in a natural shape. I don't do anything too crazy. This is how I want them to look. I did go a little bit heavy-handed at the front of this brow, but it's okay. I know how to fix it after. So now I'm going to do my skin prep. My skin prep is the same morning and night. Doesn't matter where I'm going for my makeup. I have a 3-step skin prep. And the first step would be doing my serum, which would be the Alpha Arbutin 2% plus HA. I love using this serum with my makeup. It still does what it needs to do in terms of fighting hyperpigmentation and dark marks while I still can wear my makeup. I do 2 droppers of this. Next up would be my moisturizer, which would be my AVEENO Balm. And then the final step for my skin prep would be sunscreen. Okay, now that we're all moisturized and ready to go, I do not use primer. I feel like it separates my makeup with the skincare products that I put on, so I just use my skin prep as my priming for my makeup. Next step is going to be concealing my brows. I'm going to use the shade 50 Café in Fit Me, and I always start at the bottom of my brows so I can kind of gauge on how I want them to look. Perfect, so that's how I want the bottom to look. Now we're going to do the top. Okay, that looks perfect. Now I'm going to go in the middle of my brows and just put a little bit of concealer. And then if I have any blemishes, just cover up the blemishes. I'm going to take a triangle sponge and just blend out the rough edges. This is what we want to look like now. I'm going to go in between my brows, holding the sponge directly straight up. And I'm just going to blend out the product, stay in the same space, just blend, blend, blend. Once it looks like that, I'm then going to go on an angle like this. And I'm going to buff out the front of the brows because I don't want there to be any harsh lines. Kind of make it look like an ombre a little bit. And then do the other side. Next step would be contouring. You're going to need a foundation brush. I love using a foundation brush because it blends in seamlessly with my other cream and liquid products. The first product that I'm going to do for my contour is going to be the e.l.f. Putty Bronzer in the shade Sunkissed. And I'm using this as like my base or guiding for the other product that I'm going to use to contour as well. So I start on my forehead. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to be using another product to contour as well. Then I'm going to do my cheekbones. I do have a distinct line right here. You can't see it right now with the lighting. I will stop my contour above this line and then put my foundation below this line. So I'm just going to use the base here. Okay, so I want to stop there. We're going to do the next side. When it comes to my jaw, I will just create a line like this, and then I will blend upwards softly. And then blend downwards. Draw the line again, and upwards softly. And then down. The second step to my contour would be using the 360 Mocha by Fit Me. I'm just going to put this in the same spots I put the Putty Bronzer. When it comes to cream and liquid products, I never apply them directly to my face, always on the back of my hand. The only liquid product I apply directly to my face is my concealer. I just use it out of the bottle. It's mine. It's fine. But for all my other liquid and cream products, I put them on the back of my hand so I can blend them out properly. So we're going to go in the same spots we did the Putty Bronzer. Now I'm going to take whatever's left and I'm going to apply it to my eyelids just for the base color for my eyeshadow or for the eye look. And I will go directly to the bridge of my nose and blend back and forth. And then I'll connect it to the contour on my cheek. Next step would be doing my foundation. You're going to need a clean foundation brush. I'm going to be using the shade 355 Coconut by Fit Me as well. And I'm going to put it in the empty spot. So in between here, under my chin, on this side, and on my nose. So we're just going to do a swipe like that and blend downwards to blend in with the contour on my jawline. And then blend upwards just a little bit to blend with the cheek contour. Downwards. And then I'm going to take a little bit of the foundation and rub it on my nose. Then I'm going to take whatever's left on the brush and just blend out my forehead if there's any harsh lines from the contour that I put on there. Next up is going to be concealer. I'm just going to place a little bit right here and right here. And I'm going to blend upwards very lightly. Okay, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm also going to put a little bit on my chin and above my lip. This is in the shade 50 Café, so it's the first concealer that I use to conceal my eyebrows, and this is my darkest color that I have. And then you're just going to put a random line on your nose. It does not need to be perfect because we are going to fix it afterwards. You're going to take a clean sponge and a little bit of 360 Mocha just on the rim of the sponge. And you're going to go along the bridge of your nose. Then we're going to go on the other side. And there's that little small line in between from the lighter concealer that we use, so that's what we want. It will be emphasized when we put our powders and all that stuff on it. I'm going to use another concealer now. This is 40 Caramel by Fit Me. I just do a little dot right here because I want to create like an ombre effect with the concealers I'm using. I want it to blend in nicely with the cream blush that I'm going to use. That's why I do this ombre effect. And the last concealer I'm going to use is 25 Medium by Fit Me as well. And you just do an open triangle. And you take the sponge and you stay in the same spot for a little bit. You just want to blend, 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 blend. Then you're going to go around and create a sharp line. Come back around. Up and down. And then you're going to go on the bridge of your nose, but you're going to do this very softly as well, because you don't want a harsh line from the contour that you created with this concealer. The next side, open triangle. So same thing, stay in the same spot. Then we're going to go around, create a sharp line, come back around, same spot, same spot. Then we're going to go to the bridge of our nose. Be very gentle. We want a soft line. Next up is going to be blush. I'm going to be using Daiquiri Dip by Fenty. This is a cream blush. You're going to take your foundation brush, the one that you did the in-between here, underneath, and you're going to apply the blush. Get a decent amount on the brush. And you want to do that in between the contour and the concealer that we placed there. This doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to go back and clean it up with our sponge. It looks crazy and we need to clean it up. I'm going to use 25 Medium in Fit Me. I'm just going to put a little dot here. Take the same sponge that we were using before for all of our concealers. And we're going to blend out this blush so we don't look crazy. Okay, so that's what we want it to look like. This isn't crazy. We're going to do the same thing again. We're going to take a little bit of the 25 Medium, just do a little dot there. Go in the same spot for a little bit. Then we're going to go around. And we're going to come down. My light died. We're going to keep chugging along, okay? Bear with me. So we're done all of our cream products. So it's now time for powders. You're going to need a powder puff. I'm going to use this pressed powder. This is the Fit Me Matte Poreless Pressed Powder in the shade 230 Natural Buff. First, you're going to blend out any creases you may have underneath your eyes. You're going to get your powder puff and you're going to swipe it in the product. You're going to pat it off on the back of your hand. I usually do my wrist, but this is more convenient right now. And you're going to gently press the powder into the concealer. And you're also going to bring it up to the bridge of your nose. And you're going to cover the blush a little bit. We're going to take the sponge and get rid of any creasing we have underneath our eyes. And we're going to move fast. For this look, I'm going to use 2 powders under my eyes. So we did the pressed powder. Now I'm going to go in with this Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the shade 10 Fair Light. This is not sponsored. I just really love Fit Me products. I'm going to take the same powder puff, dip it in the powder, pat it at the back of my hand, even it out, and I'm going to lightly press it on top of where I put the pressed powder. Next step is a powder blush. I'm going to be using Fascinated by Sephora. I do not know if they have this anymore. I bought this a long time ago. I think I actually bought this in the US. You want to make sure you get a blush that is the same color as the cream blush that you used. And just doing that layer of the cream blush, then the pressed powder, and then the loose powder, and then a powder blush is very lethal. I love it. Little, just brush it on. Now I'm going to set my reverse contour areas. I'm going to use Ben Nye Banana Powder to do this. And what I do is I fold my powder puff in half and I will just slide it into the powder. So it looks like that. And I will tap off the excess on my wrist or the back of my hand. And you can now see that distinct line I was telling you about. That's where I'm just going to place the powder, right underneath that. And I'm just going to keep pressing it into my skin. I don't want to like leave it there to set. I want to set it already with the powder puff. So I want it to look like that. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so we're going to look like that. Then I'm going to do my chin. We're not baking anything. We're literally just pressing everything into the skin. I feel like baking makes you look very ashy or give you a lot of flashback. So I try not to bake. I just place the powder in the wet areas and I press it into the skin. And we're going to do our forehead. And while I'm doing this, I'm very gentle as well. We're going to fold the powder puff in half again. Go into the powder like this. Make a little line. We're doing our nose. And we're just going to go up the bridge of our nose. This line doesn't have to be perfect. We're going to go back and fix it with our contour powder. So time for my eyes. I'm going to do the Juvia's bronzer in the shade Dark. And I'm going to use the top color. I'm going to take the triangle sponge I used for the contour of my nose and just blend out any creases on my eyelids. This is a clean foundation brush. I like using dense brushes to do this step because it packs on a lot of the product on the eyelid a lot better if I were to use a eyeshadow brush. And I'm going to go to the bridge of my nose and then just keep swiping across. This does not have to be perfect. Then I'm going to change the direction of the brush and go this way so there's no creases. Okay, that's what I want it to look like. We're going to do the next eye. Blend out the creases. Swipe. Just keep going in both directions. Go to the bridge of the nose. Back and forth. Then I'm going to take a small fluffy brush and dip once into the same powder I did over my eyelids. Very lightly contour my nose. For the next step, I'm going to be setting my contour areas. I'm going to be using the Sephora pressed powder in the shade 75 Hazelnut. You need a really big fluffy brush to do this. You're just going to swirl it around in the powder. That. And I'm going to set my forehead. My cheeks. And then my jawline. And then I just use whatever I have left on the brush and I put it everywhere. I don't like any wet areas on my face before I apply any setting powder. I need everything to be matte and dried down. So I still see some wet areas under my eyebrows and I do not like that. So I'm going to take a small, dense, fluffy brush and go in with the Ben Nye banana powder and just set those areas. This does not need to be perfect. You just don't want any wetness around this area or any area that you see on your face. The last powder product I'm going to use, you're going to get another fluffy brush. This is the exact same one as I used for my contour. And I'm going to set my face. I'm going to use a Ben Nye banana powder, whatever is left, which is not a lot. For highlighter, I'm going to use a Milani Baked Glow Bronzer. This is really old. The label's gone. Everything's gone. And I'm just going to go on the apples of my cheek. I love this bronzer because it's very natural. It doesn't have a lot of shimmer to it. Then I'm going to go on the tip of my nose, the bridge of my nose, and a little bit on my forehead. Time for setting spray. For this specific look on that video, I used 2 setting sprays. I'm going to use the e.l.f. Dewy Setting Spray first, and then I'm going to use the SHEGLAM Press Refresh Setting Spray. Now for the second setting spray. Okay, this is where we're at. Very natural, very nice, very yummy. We're done setting everything with a setting spray. I typically have crease lines right here, so I like to fold my powder puff in half, nothing on it, and just press on that area. And this prevents me from having any crease lines. So next up would be doing the eyes. This is the whole part of the makeup look that I think has you guys in a frenzy because everything else is the same that I do. So you're going to need the Bite Size eyeshadow palette from e.l.f. This is in the shade I Love You a Latte. You're going to need lashes. I tried this look with other lashes and it did not hit. You need these specific lashes. They are from Shein. I'm going to put the picture of them here, the link in the comment section, and the SKU just in case you can't find it with either of those. You're going to need a round, dense, short, fluffy brush for the inner corners of your eyes. You're going to need this dense smudge brush from e.l.f. for blending out the eyeliner at the bottom of your eyes. And the gel liner that I'm going to use is the Inglot gel liner. It's a black one. They have a brown and black one. This is the best gel liner I've ever purchased. I use it for all of my makeup looks. Every other one that I have has like a green base or like, it's like a weird color, but this one comes out jet black. It's the best one. And it works so easy. It doesn't dry fast, which is good. So you're able to smudge and move things around. For the first step of the eye look, we're going to use this dark brown color here. There's no name on it. It's just the darkest color on the palette. We're going to take the e.l.f. smudge brush. I don't knock off any of the product off the brush because I want it to be as pigmented as possible. You're going to go at the bottom of your eyes and you're just going to pat that on. And then you go back to the next eye. So we want it to look like that. We're trying to create a shadow for the black gel liner so it looks like it's a smoky reverse eye. Next up is going to be the gel liner. I'm going to take the same brush I applied the dark chocolate eyeshadow at the bottom and I'm going to smudge out the gel liner. This is what you should end up with. Let's do the next side. Okay, so this is where we should be now. The next step, we would go in with the same palette. You're going to take the first shade and the third shade together and mix them. And you're going to put them in the inner corners of your eye. So this is where we're at now. Now it's time to do the lashes and mascara. I'm going to go in with Great Lashes by Maybelline. It's in the shade Blackest Black. So while my lashes are drying, let's do my lip combo. I'm going to use 2 lip liners. I'm going to use BFF3 by ColourPop and then Dark Cocoa by e.l.f. This I just used to emphasize what I did with the ColourPop. Now I'm going to take the e.l.f. lip liner and just outline what I put on with the ColourPop. Like that. So that's what I want it to look like. I'm going to put my lashes on really quickly because I don't want them to dry. To finish off everything, we're going to do our lips. These are 2 lip glosses from Makeup Revolution. One is in Candy Pink and the other is in Dull Nude. So I do Dull Nude first. And then I go in with Candy Pink. We're done. This is the final look. I know this tutorial was very tedious, but I hope it was easy to follow. Everything is going to be linked in the description box below for you guys as always. If there are any other makeup looks that you guys would like to see, let me know down below. We do have the giveaway going on. I feel like every time I do a video, I have to explain the giveaway more and more and more. For the giveaway, I did decide to change it a little bit. I started to listen to the things that you guys said that you wanted or needed. So a lot of my UK girlies cannot get access to the products that I recommend on my channel. So the first prize will be going to anybody that's in the UK once we hit our threshold for 35k subscribers. So my skincare routine of your choice, my body care, nighttime, morning time routine, whichever one that you want, I will send it to you in the UK. For my US girlies, you guys get $500. And then for my Canadian girlies, you guys get free Chris Brown concert tickets to his August show in Toronto. So that is the giveaway. As always, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I love and appreciate every single one of you, and I can't wait to see you in my next video.